Good Wednesday morning. Hello. Happy Winning Wednesday. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about metaphysical anatomy, what your body is trying to tell you through symptoms. And it's the perfect time because um, also we have this giant ass full moon today, and it's the closest and brightest full moon um, of the year. Um, so there's a lot of symptoms coming up to be cleansed out. Um, you know, this is kind of going off of memory of things that I've seen, but I believe no, I'm not going to try to make something up. It's called something. It's like the not the harvest moon, but like the wolf moon or something like that. But um anyways, off track here. So this moon is a lot about cleansing, but it's also a lot about bringing things up to the surface so that they can be cleansed. So if you are very heightened right now emotionally, there's a reason why that's happening right now, and that's mostly to do with the moon. Um, and that's also a lot to do with cleansing the spiritual, physical, energetic body so that we can take in more light codes. So um, we are on like this accelerated ascension path right now. So people, I think it's such a, and I was talking to my friend Jackie about this yesterday, is that we're on this, like, people have been awakening and in an awakening process for years and years and years, some decades. Some people have been in it for decades. Um, and we are in such a prime time right now with awakening and ascension and, just like coming back to our true selves right now. So things that have taken people years and years and decades to um, process and awaken into. A lot of us are getting this. It's kind of like drinking from a fire hose. It's like super accelerated, super fast, a lot of energy, and some of us are a few years in, some of us months in, some of us days in or weeks, and it's like there's so much out there to learn and to know. And so this is kind of where I come from is I didn't start my like even spiritual journey. I had such bad trauma from religion growing up that I completely rejected all things spiritual, like growing up. So, or once I got to a certain age, like I rejected it so hard that any mention of like spirit or angels or anything like that, I was very, very resistant to. So of course that has changed since now or since then. But I did not start my spiritual awakening or journey until a couple years ago. And so it is very much like I'm learning so many new things. I'm really trying to take things inside, listen to my guides, listen to what my body is telling me, what my spirit's telling me, what my, you know, future highest self is telling me. And so it's been a process, yes, but it's all very, very fast and accelerated. And it doesn't seem like fast when you're in the moment, but it is very fast compared to, a lot of other people. And then not only that, but a lot of people are waking up at this moment in time. So all of this is more um, accepted. People are more open to this, and we're getting a lot more messaging on this on social media. So we're kind of like we've all been out, like kind of thinking very outside of ourselves, feeling like we're disconnected from each other, to like we're really like coming together quickly. And so it's like an amazing time to be alive because this is like the main event. This is what we were sent to this earth for specifically, is this event right now and this awakening process. And this is, and again, going back to my conversation with Jackie, we were talking about our kids. Like our kids are on a higher vibrational level than we are coming into this world, and are so much more awakened and great. They get to see this messaging out there from a young age. So it's beautiful. I love it so much for them. Um, while there is a lot of fear and a lot of breakdown of systems and government and like the all the food stamps and things like that, like there's a lot of fear right now, but um, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and so we're going to start seeing things really ramp up pretty soon. So again, this full moon is a lot about cleansing the old paradigms, the identities. And I keep saying this, I feel like every full moon, but there's going to be a lot of shit coming up. There's going to be a lot of emotions and fatigue. And so, symptom wise, in the whole point of this video here, symptom wise, when symptoms come up, it's not to treat the symptom of, like we don't need to look at just the symptoms. Like we're trying to look at like, where did those symptoms come from? What is the root cause of those symptoms? And it so often comes down to an emotion that's been stuck, a trauma, energy that has been stuck inside of us for so long that it started to create issues. And um, I think Western medicine, this is where we really got it wrong. Like, we are looking at the fruit tree, like, say we have an apple tree or some sort of fruiting tree, and if we have some like bad apples, some apples that are rotting, or they're getting like not very big, or whatever, they're not sweet, whatever it is, like something's going wrong with all the apples on your tree. Or maybe this side of the tree, there's some apples that are going bad. And Western medicine is very I wouldn't say even good at, but like that is their main focus, is like they're looking exactly at the apple. They're not looking at the tree. They're not looking at the roots or the trunk or the limbs of the tree. They're going for the symptoms and treating the symptoms. So if you have an apple tree, does it make sense to treat the apple that has fallen off that's rotten? No. No. It makes more sense to look at the tree. Correct? So this is where we get to kind of look down to roots. We get to look down to the actual reason that you're having rotten apples or fruit that's not sweet or big enough or whatever. That's it almost all it well almost it always comes down to some emotion, trauma, energy that is stuck inside. So this has been scientifically proven. They've gotten down to a lot of the root causes of things, or figuring out that it comes from these things. And so when you start to clean this stuff up, your emotions and your traumas and your energies, this is where you start to release some of those symptoms. So it does not have to be taking pills for the rest of your life. It does not have to be major surgery. A lot of these things can be fixed in this way. So that being said, in this, again, it comes down to, like the body keeps the score. There's a lot of journals and books and research done on this that is proving this to be true. So, like this is the one relationship you cannot ghost. Your body is the most loyal and sometimes unforgiving, but the biggest mirror that you'll ever have. And your body doesn't lie. It doesn't judge it, but it does keep the score, right? So every ache, every illness, every disease, every um, like sickness, that's your body. Every ailment, right? Like that's your body and your biology trying to get your attention. It's trying to get your consciousness on the same page. It's like warning signals, like flashing, like the engine light is flashing over and over and over. And it's not, like your symptom is never the problem. And again, Western medicine, we're looking at the symptoms. We start you on a pill that then, requires another pill for some of the side effects, which then requires something else. So, like, your symptoms is like, the conversation starter. Like, this is where you get to start looking at, what do I need to clean up? What is going on? So, today, what we're going to talk about, we're going to like actually listen and really listen to what your body's been whispering or even screaming at you. So um when your mind is suppressing an emotion, like, and again, like if it's inside for so long, your body will start to express it. So unprocessed grief, right? It isn't just like you move on from it. Like it isn't just gone. It just gets stored until it's safe to be felt. And so my girlfriend that like 2 weeks ago I was very emotional about with her baby um passing away. Like right now her heart can only take so much. So her mind is, she's questioning reality right now. And that's totally normal when you're going through grief. But she's questioning, like, what is real? Is this a dream? Did this really happen? Like, all of these things that are very, very hard to process in one moment in time as a mother, right? So, and I'm going to try not to get emotional again. However, your body, your mind, your brain, it stores that emotion until it deems that you can actually feel it. So with her, she's getting little bits and pieces of grief because otherwise it'll totally flood her system and she'll feel like she's drowning. And so her body wants her to be safe. So it's making up these scenarios where maybe this isn't real, or maybe like none of this ever happened, or maybe I'm just like in this false matrix, right? So these like anytime you go through grief, anytime you go through some big heavy event, like there's people out there that completely have 100% forgot moments in time or in their childhood, like long periods of childhood that they can't even recall. They can't remember. They can't even remember the emotion that they were having at that time. Their brain has blocked it out because it deems it is safer for you to not know than it is for you to know. Does that make sense? So you're stuffing that grief and that trauma and that emotion down. And so you get these little symptoms, and they're kind of like little bookmarks or sticky notes from your nervous system. Like, hey, you haven't dealt with this yet. I don't know if it's really safe, but I want you to know this is still in there. You just haven't dealt with it. So in metaphysical anatomy, we see every body system and symptom as a message, right? Like uh, your lungs. Oh, let me reposition here. Your lungs hold grief and unprocessed sadness, um, like sadness from words that were never spoken, or goodbyes that you never fully allowed yourself to feel in grief. Your throat, it governs expression and truth. So, like think about me personally, like I have thyroid issues, hypothyroid. So thyroid imbalances, they often point to like swallowed opinions and words and, like things that you withheld in order to keep the peace, like being the people pleaser. If you had like chronic sore throats, that's another thing. Your stomach and your gut, they carry worry and control. So, like, if, like they digest life. So, literally and emotionally. And so, when you cannot, literally cannot stomach a situation, your digestion will do one of two things. Like, you're going to have chronic constipation because it's holding on. It's holding on until it's safe to be processed. Or you'll have things like IBS or, diarrhea. So, just like it, because it just wants to get it out. Like your lower back also, like that's usually support. So like that's where your root chakra is. And when you're feeling unsupported, old fears about being unsupported, or like even financially or emotionally, like that's when you start to get back pain. So um let's decode some like everyday ailments. So like where do you hold your tension? Like, is it in your jaw? Is it in your upper shoulders or neck? Like neck pain and tension. That's a lot of like carrying the weight of the world, like responsibility that's not yours. It's the weight between I have to hold it all together, and no one is here to help me, right? I have to do it all alone. No one's supporting me. So maybe ask yourself, where am I being rigid instead of receptive? Migraines typically come from, over perfection or self criticism loops. So it's like mental pressure. Like if you don't get it right, like there's literally too many tabs open in the brain, and sometimes the mind is punishing itself for not being perfect. And the healing is as simple as releasing the need to win every mental argument. Anxiety, like especially if you get like anxiety in the chest and like you take these short little breaths in your upper chest, like it's usually from unspoken grief, which we talked a little bit about. The living too much in the future. So anxiety, actually, a lot of anxiety does not come from living in the past. It's from living in the future and not knowing what's going to come next and trying to like predict. And this is like where the hypervigilance comes in. You're constantly scanning the room for threats. And so you get anxious because you don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you're basing everything off of something bad happening. So the body, it cannot be in safety in that way. And it can't be in safety and future fear simultaneously. So usually the antidote is just movement, like shaking it off, like maybe you dance a little bit and just, do like this stuff with your body. Breathing, of course. Be very present in your body, like coming back down into your body. So I like to teach the 4-2-6 or 4-2-8 breath. So, or even like 478. Really, it doesn't matter like what your sequence is, as long as the exhale is longer than your inhale. But, it's really, if you're getting anxiety or an anxious moment, the best thing you can do is come back into your body. Like, you're all up in here with anxiety and like future pacing, but come back, like close your eyes if you can, if it's safe to do so. Actually feel your seat in your chair or your feet on the ground. Maybe what's really good is you can rub your fingers together very gently so that you can just barely feel the fingertip ridges on your fingers. And just do the slow breathing. So you can do 4, 7, 8. So it's inhale for a count of 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. And that brings you back. You just keep repeating it until you're out of that, like that heart pumping anxiousness. Um, Especially with women, pelvic or womb issues. Like if you, like your pelvis and your womb is like the area of creation, and it's also a lot of themes of guilt and creative repression and inherited shame, especially around pleasure. So like your womb or pelvic issues, like if you have like really heavy periods or PCOS or um, ovarian cyst, like this comes down to boundaries and creation. Like you do not have boundaries, and you're repressing your creativeness and sexuality. So healing will begin when you reclaim your womb space as sacred. And this is something I've been working on too, because I grew up very tomboy, and a lot of my work history was in very masculine settings, and very like I had this um, in my head that I needed to push through things. No matter what I was feeling, I needed to push through. I had to go, go, go. I won't be successful unless I, you know, do all of the things. And no matter like if I'm like super tired or not, like I have to push through and get it done. Like go, go, go. Right. So, um, when you reclaim this space as sacred and not shameful, like we're women, we have wombs, we have boobs, right? Like that's not a bad thing. It's not a dirty word. And so that's a lot of reframing that I've been doing. So actually embracing femininity. Um, Skin. Your skin tells you a lot. So you have like flare ups, like acne. Like I dealt with like acne up until my um, pretty late adulthood. Like having a lot of like acne around my cheeks and chin here. Um, so that's like suppressed irritation or boundary reaction. Like if you have like eczema, that's a big one. Is the body trying to push out what you won't say aloud? So it shows up on your skin's surface. So ask yourself, who or what am I reacting to but pretending to feel fine about? So, you know, notice, and I might give a few more examples. I did start a little late since Facebook Live didn't want to work with me at first. But, like all of these things are rooting back to safety. Like when your body trusts that it's safe to feel, it stops needing to shout through pain. A lot of the times when we do this work, when we get to the root causes and we release a lot, like we start to release physical weight. Like weight is it comes down to a lot of not feeling safe, and your body's holding on to that. It's creating a protective barrier. So suffice to say, a lot of women that are overweight have had some sort of boundary, sexual boundary pushed when they were younger, and they build up the weight to protect themselves. And like, this is a heavy thing, I get it, but like they'll build up the weight so that like it's a subconscious thing. Like subconsciously, they think that that weight there protects them or makes them undesirable, or that they won't be preyed upon, right? So that weight builds up so that they essentially, it's like it's pushing away that desire from the opposite person so that they can feel safe. So instead of, like battling all your symptoms, bring some curiosity to that. Like, did any of these things hit home to you? Or are any of these kind of like resonating and pinging you? Like, you can literally ask your body, like, what are you trying to get me to see? There's a lot with our body that, like we don't trust, and we trust what the doctors tell us is wrong with us, and then we go along blindly with their prognosis and their treatment plans. But like, what is your body really trying to tell you? Because these things can be cleaned up so easily, so much more easily, um, once you get down to the root. And again, like you start to get down to the root and you release these emotions, you start to release weight, you start to release the symptoms, you start to release digestive issues, um, thyroid issues, adrenal fatigue. Like, coming back into your body. And I like to do, and I actually admittedly have not been doing as much as I probably should, but I like to do muscle testing, because your body, or if you've, they're called dowsing rods. So you can or like a pendulum, you can use your body to get yes or no answers if you're not used to actually feeling yes or no answers in your body. Uh, if any of y'all have done like human design or something, generators, and I'm a generator, like generators have that literal pull inside of their stomach that will tell you if it's yes or no. Problem is, we don't tune into that. Like, you can hear like guttural sounds when you really, really do not want to do something. Like walking into a place and you're like, ugh, right? That's, like the energy's not right here, or this doesn't feel good. Or, like you you see something, you're like, ooh, notice that stuff, right? Like, and really like breathe slow and deep, come back into your body, hand on heart, hand on belly, like give the sensation attention. And most time, like when you're in an intense moment, like intensity can shift within like 90 seconds, and your body will sigh in relief. The more that you listen to your body will thank you for listening. So let me think. Should we go over a few more? Hmm. So we're already over, but let's go with a few more. Um, well, maybe I'll post some more in the chat. But like today is really about becoming more fluent in your body language, like not the kind that manipulates others, but the kind that reconnects you to yourself. So just remember, like everything you feel, every symptoms, it has an intelligence to it. Like the symptoms are not punishment, they're communication. So when you bring awareness and safety and breath to the places that hurt, they don't just heal, they upgrade your consciousness. So take another deep breath with me. Maybe hold it for a few seconds and then release it out through the mouth. It's one part of your body that's been asking for your attention. And maybe today you'll find the answer. But that said, we are on day 5 of the Breathwork Challenge. I know I have a couple participants that are faithfully putting their thumbs up in the comments every single day, and I so thank you for that. But if you have not jumped in on that is it's not too late. You can pick up on day 1 or you can pick up on day 5 and just join us now. But I really would love to hear for you, some of you that have already been through this journey on us, keeping up with it. Maybe you can post like, how is this feeling for you? Are you getting like any new feelings in your body? Are you getting any insights? Are you feeling more calm? Like, tell me what's going on. Tell me how you're feeling with this and if it's helping. Um, because I really do love doing these challenges, and I love that the app is free for 6 weeks. So that's a beautiful tester. It's a little bit more robust than my app, I will say, but I love that 9D is doing this opportunity right now, especially when we're getting into the holidays and everybody is very very go go go, and you're thinking about everybody else and not yourself. So it is a very good time to be doing this. The other news is today, the breathwork facilitator group is starting. And so I am so grateful for the ones that have jumped in. I know some of y'all said that you just cannot juggle it right now. And I understand because, again, it's the holidays. But I am so excited to start this journey with them and to really build out this program so that it is amazing and that you can learn a lot from it. So this is my joy. This is out of all the things that I do, this is my favorite thing to do. And so I really love that I found this and am able to bring this to you and teach this. That being said, I think we'll end here. So I hope you all have an amazing week, and I appreciate you all for being on my journey and me being a part of your journey. And I wish you all the best. Have a very cleansing, but hopefully not too tumultuous full moon day, and we will see you next week. Bye now.